What's up, guys? This is Lucas, also known as NJMA Sports Pods, or NJCO Goats, and I'm here with Calvin and Declan. And today we are going to be going over the Giants versus Seahawks game that just happened a couple hours ago. So, without further ado, let's get started. And the first question that we'll go over is just overall thoughts on the defense for the Giants today. They pressured Geno Smith a lot.
Mm.
I think that avoided a lot of points in the first half. Like, they got one offensive touchdown the entire game.
Yeah. One at the beginning that was stupid.
Like, Brian Burns got that sack or strip sack, whatever it was, on 4th and 1.
Yeah, that was big.
Which set the Giants up for that field goal.
Yeah, that was big.
So, overall, I think they played pretty well, especially with that last play, one of the last plays at least, where they blocked the kick.
Yeah, it was so good.
When they blocked the kick, I was hyped.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
what are your thoughts, Calvin?
Yeah, I agree with what you said about like how our defense sort of won us the game in a way by limiting the points that the Seahawks were able to get on offense. Like, it seemed like it was just stop after stop after stop until they finally scored when we had already been up by 2 possessions. And I think it was especially a great effort by our D-line, and like just how many pressures we were able and sacks we were able to get on Geno Smith, and that was mainly like Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence that played well, and like Burns, he had a really clutch sack, but he also had like a really good he tipped the ball and batted it down, or he batted it up in the air, and it almost led to a pick.
he
He had
an overall good game. Yeah, that D lineman almost picked it off, and then Dexter Lawrence had like 2 or 3 sacks at least. And it was just even our backup defensive linemen that are getting subbed in behind Dexter Lawrence are playing really well too. DJ Davidson and Nunez Roches played really well too.
Even the guy that they just signed in the preseason, he played pretty well. I forget his name.
Exactly. Oh yeah, Chapman, yeah.
Elijah Chapman. I think he did something today.
Yeah, I mean, and even even if he didn't really play great today, he had a really good game against the Browns, and in past weeks he's been really great, and so that's good because that was sort of a weakness going into the season was like who's gonna back up Lawrence and how are we gonna sub him out, and like all that. So they like all of them, all those guys have been playing really great. And then that allows our secondary. It takes a little pressure off them, and allows them to make plays, which is what Banks is good at. He's like a good physical corner, and he proved that against DK. DK only had like 1 or 2 catches for like probably under 30 yards, which is crazy. And I think it was Banks that actually forced the fumble when DK caught that pass on 3rd down, which is great. It was either him or Okereke, because they were both in on the tackle. Either way, great defensive plays as far as like forcing turnovers and getting sacks, which is how we were able to score so many points on offense. And then as far as our offense, I did not expect that out of our offense that was without Neighbors or Singletary, especially Slayton and Tracy. They both had crazy games. I think definitely Tracy. Like, that was I did not expect that at all. He is a really good running back.
Yeah,
He has a lot of potential.
I wasn't expecting that from Tracy either. I forgot that Singletary was out.
Yeah,
And I was like, why is Tracy getting so many snaps?
Mhm.
And then I realized like, oh, he's out.
I had heard before the game that he wasn't practicing and he was sitting out with league neighbors, and so I just assumed that like maybe it was just like a couple practices and he'd be back for the game. But then I turned on the game and I saw him sitting on the sideline without any pads on. I'm like, oh
Neighbors
shoot,
wasn't even at the game. He was in New Jersey.
yeah. I
What
don't know.
was
I was
what
gonna say
was
like I didn't see him.
what was Singletary's injury?
It was something with like his hamstring, right? I'm not
I
100%
don't
certain.
know.
It was something with either like his leg or his knee. But he wasn't practicing,
I
and so
think
I just thought he was like questionable. But
I think Neighbors will be back by next week.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because if he even had a shot of being back this week, he'll be back next week. Which is
Yeah.
good. And like I think what we could take away from this game is that if Daniel Jones and the rest of our offense can play like that with Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary, then we can put up a lot of points.
Jones played well.
I
Yeah,
know.
Jones.
He didn't throw a
Jones
single
did.
pick. He had a really good completion percentage.
He hasn't
Uh,
thrown a single pick since week one.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
think he threw like one pick, but it was on like a Hail Mary, right?
maybe one pick.
Yeah, it was on like a freaking Hail Mary.
Yeah, that was against the Cowboys.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's thrown either 0 or 1 pick.
Yeah, I think he's thrown one pick, but it literally wasn't really his fault. It was like a jump ball in the end zone. It was a Hail Mary.
Oh
Which
yeah, against
it,
it was
Cowboys,
last
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Um,
But like still, he's thrown for like 6 touchdowns, basically 1,000 yards, and he has a much better completion percentage.
yeah, everyone says that he's a bottom 5 QB, and I'll move on to the next question, I guess, because of this. Like everyone says that he's a bottom 5 QB. But like after the past 4 games or so, like I think he's shown that he's at least a top 20, maybe even top 15, or could sneak into the top 10 by the end of the season.
Yeah. Sort of like
Like
he did in 2022.
yeah, like he's kind of doing what he did in 2022 in a way.
Yeah,
Um,
that he played a lot like he did in that season. As far as like just the pure accuracy and the completion percentage. Like those slant routes, he was like flawless. He was just getting like great checkdowns. That went for like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards at a time on like first and second down, which would get us an easy first down in like 2 plays or set up like a short third down that's like very convertible.
Mhm.
So
yeah,
that's sort of what he was doing last season too. It
like
was sort of like those Darius Slayton and like Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins.
Hodgins played
It was
today.
like slant routes.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was all day.
he was Daniel was looking for him in the end zone, but he got pressured, and he
Yeah.
was smart with the ball too. Like he didn't take many sacks at all,
Yeah.
and he had a couple good runs. I feel like maybe one thing he could have done better was, like there were a couple times where he ran out of the pocket, and I think he just sort of assumed that his only choice was to run, even when there really wasn't any space for him to run. He just sort of put his head down and ran anyway instead of looking upfield. Maybe he could have made a play, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal. It's still a smart play anyway. So I was impressed. I was not expecting that, but he played really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like
thought
especially with the secondary that Seattle has, or their cornerback room is crazy.
I thought they played really well. And Dable, he's coaching his tail off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They had
That's
the ball on that first drive. Of course, they fumbled it, and that was a touchdown. But but they had the ball for 10 minutes that drive. 10.
Yeah,
Like they dominated time of possession today.
exactly.
They dominated passing yards today.
Exactly. And rushing, yeah.
At least in the first half, and rushing yards.
Definitely rushing, dude. Kenneth Walker had like 3 rushing yards.
I know he
Swear to God.
was
He didn't do anything.
We dominated on defense. Like I don't know if Daniel Jones got sacked once today.
Yeah, I really don't even think he did. Which
I don't
is
think so.
which is what I was saying before. He did way better. Like he had a bunch of plays where he like dodged a bunch of tacklers in the backfield and was able to either make a completion or run for a couple yards, which he has been struggling with last season and earlier this season.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that because that's what he was doing in 2022. Also was escaping pressure and then being able to scramble or make a completion.
Yeah, but I do kind of wish that Hyatt got more targets,
Yeah,
but
that
like
Hyatt,
Jones doesn't
we'll
like
move
him.
on to let's move on to that. Like, what's going on? I don't know. Is Hyatt like? Do you think he's done? Because it certainly doesn't seem like. I don't think he wants to be a Giant right now.
Yeah.
He's not getting any targets. He got like 1 target last week, and that was that Hail Mary we talked about earlier.
Yeah, like that was the one pass we threw to him.
That's like the one pass we've thrown to him all year.
It was underthrown. Like we can't. I feel like we're seeing him as like only a deep threat, and we're underestimating like his actual potential. Like
I don't know.
He has good hands. Like we don't have to throw to him on a streak every single time. Like we can send him on like a slant or a post or something. Just get him the ball more. Get him some targets and see what he can do with the ball. Like I don't understand why we can't make that happen.
I don't know why we won't. I don't know why Dable won't put him in. That's like Dable's like biggest flaw. Like putting in probably our second best receiver, our third best receiver behind Neighbors and Slayton.
Yeah.
And Wandale. So maybe 4th.
Yeah. But like especially when Neighbors is out, like there's no reason we can't target him. Or at least give him a couple targets at least in that game. Like I don't know what more he needs to do to prove himself. Like I don't know if he had like a really terrible training camp, which from what I saw, I really don't think that's what happened. Like I really don't know what's going on. He had like a really good rookie season when he got the ball. Like it seemed like whenever he would get the ball passed to him, he would come down with it. So I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because we really we really only passed it to Slayton and Wandale the entire game. Like those are the only 2 people the only 2 receivers that seemed like we passed it the entire game. So like why couldn't we have just passed it to Slayton at least a couple times, giving him a break? I feel like that should have happened. That probably would have helped us win. Like I don't know. Especially on those like second and long or third and longs. Give him a deep shot.
I mean, if we want to talk about thoughts on Dable, and we talk about this like every week, like he's a good coach. Like there's no denying it. He's probably top 15, top 10 in the whole league. But like they need to realize that he is kind of making it seem like the players like can't have any fun, especially in that locker room video where they were playing Take Over Your Trap. And he goes, "Hey, turn that." I'm not going to say the word because we're on live, but don't post that blank. That's what he said. Don't post that blank.
He's like, stop playing this blank. Yeah. It's like, don't post that.
Whatever. Yeah.
That's like, I don't know.
I
like
mean,
you can like I get how
he's
serious. He's serious about winning games and like maybe we can't celebrate like this. We have to look at next week. We have to keep grinding. We can't get too heavy on ourselves.
like
Yeah.
if you look at 2022 when they were playing that song, they played that song maybe 2 times, and that was the game against Washington when we were out, like 1 game out of making the playoffs, and then they did it when we beat the Vikings in the playoffs. And those were the 2
Yeah.
times where it was probably acceptable to go on live and go like, "Hey, look what we're doing."
Yeah, I'm sure they did something like that too against the Colts when
Well,
we
yeah,
clinched the playoffs.
I don't know.
So
Those are the only ones I remember.
yeah, me too. But I'm sure like they did something.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a Dable. He comes from a Bill Belichick coaching tree. Bill Belichick, if he was the coach of the Giants right now, he would not fly with that either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Belichick wouldn't yell at the players and go, "Hey, don't post that." Like he would
Yeah,
probably
he
just he would probably
wanted to
just
stay out
yell
of
at
it.
the players after and be like,
Yeah.
"Guys, come on," because
Yeah.
he used to coach the Giants. He wants to be with the Giants in case Dable gets fired next year. Honestly, I don't think he's going to after what they did today. But if he does get fired, like that's who they're gonna bring in, and if they do play that song and dance and do whatever, they're not gonna. He's not gonna yell at them. At least not while they're on live.
Yeah, and like maybe like not
Dable just put himself
to that
out
extent.
there without even realizing it.
Yeah, like I would like maybe tell him to not post it, but maybe not like yell at him, be like yo, don't post that, like just like chill. I wouldn't be like don't post that. I wouldn't be like that serious about it. I would just be like just don't post that. Like I wouldn't really yell at them. I would let them have their fun because they deserve it. They won the game. They played great. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't be like that hard on them about it. Like if
yeah,
that's what they want to do, I let them do it. Like I don't want to kill the momentum or kill the energy. I just wouldn't be like as harsh or as serious about it.
yeah. I mean,
Like
overall though, Dable's calling good offensive plays. They had that one trick play that they tried to call, and it ended up being a 6-yard gain.
yeah,
Um,
I like that. I feel like we can do if we can execute more plays like that. Maybe not that exact play, but more sort of like surprise plays or trick plays or just like more explosive plays that are designed to um, like trick the defense or designed for like a deep ball or something like that. Then that'll be fun to watch, especially to like neighbors or high if we like actually put them in the game, which
And
I
they gotta
just
take more deep
really think we
shots.
do need to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
deep
gotta
shot.
take.
Like the one deep shot completion we had, both to Slayton, he caught and one was for a touchdown. So like, there's literally no reason we shouldn't continue throwing deep balls.
Yeah,
You
but
like it's not even that like Daniel Jones he can throw a deep ball despite what some people say. Like, um, you know, maybe he had like a couple poor throws, but um, they're all catchable. It's not like his passes were that inaccurate. And dude, Slayton's a good deep threat. We have Hyatt. Neighbors is a stud. Like we have the pieces. I just don't know why we're not throwing it deep.
yeah, I mean,
We need to throw it deep more, especially since we're like going into this week. We were 30th in points per game, which is really bad.
probably like 25th now.
Yeah, probably now, but we were averaging 15 points a game, which was third last in the NFL. Not good.
This is the most points we've scored.
Yeah, so far. But yeah, like that's probably just because we don't go deep or we don't take as many shots. We don't play as explosive as other teams, which is why we need to be playing more explosive. We want to win games. Like if you look at the Commanders, these past
4-1.
couple weeks, they've been scoring so many plays, or they've been scoring so many touchdowns off just giant plays to like McLaurin and um, um like De'Ami Brown and all these other receivers because Daniels just sort of lobs up and lets the receiver make a play. And Malik is better than any receiver on the Washington, and I think probably um, Hyatt as well, as far as like deep ball. So it's like why there's no reason for us not to be throwing it deep more often.
Yeah, but one thing I was gonna mention is like that, just like when Slayton had that one like deep catch just for like 40 yards, and then he points for a first down and then gets
Yeah,
unsportsmanlike conduct. I thought
so
that was just
ridiculous.
stupid. Like he literally like does like the usual first down symbol that about like 1,000 other people have been doing, but yeah, this
Yes,
gets called for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Slayton had a unsportsmanlike conduct thing that was
Yes,
crazy.
I
Yeah, they
know.
called him on it because they just assumed that his celebration was like him pointing two guns
Oh my god.
ahead of him, like that. Like what? Like he's literally pointing in the direction of a first down. He's not like
You
moving his hands like he's
do you
shooting a
not
gun.
know what a first down
I
celebration
know.
is?
It's because he had like
Too
two
soft.
fingers pointing and his thumbs up, which made it look like handguns. So you're like, what?
We
Like in no way, shape, or form was he like implying that he was shooting anyone or anything or putting up guns. Like like there have been like a million other receivers who have done that, but yeah, he gets called now because refs are more sensitive about it. Like if he was like if he was
gotta
like
get
vibrating his hand and like making like gestures like he was shooting a gun, then I would call it. But like he was literally just holding both of his arms out and gesturing it like it was a first down. They called him for it, which is just so stupid.
yeah, they gotta get new refs.
And it's so soft. Like it's becoming so stupid.
Yeah, like Malik Neighbors had like that touchdown against the Browns where he was doing like that little dance in the end zone, and it's like his signature dance that he did at LSU, and he had like both of his arms out, and he was like, um, he was doing the same thing basically. It was similar, and he didn't get called for that. I'm not saying he should, but it's just like it's very inconsistent. Like I don't, it doesn't make any sense. We have to stop calling that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um I mean, we'll move on to this next question, or whatever. But we're one game out from being 500. If we beat the Bengals on Sunday Night Football next week, we'll be 3-3, and then we play the Eagles the week after. And if we win, and honestly, that's a winnable game.
mm,
At MetLife, both games are at MetLife, and if they win both of those games, they'll be above 500.
Yeah,
And I think they can do it. I think they're gonna beat the Bengals because the Bengals they just don't look good right now. They almost beat um, the Ravens, which they should have.
that was a crazy game.
Yeah, that was a crazy game.
yeah, game of the year.
So far.
Yeah,
Um, but of course it didn't happen.
yeah, dude, I feel like in a way I feel bad for the Bengals just because they've lost so many close games that they should have won to really good teams. Like they should have beaten the Chiefs, they should have beaten the Ravens,
And the Commanders.
and the Commanders. Like it's just these are crazy games, and they're getting fleeced on all these losses. Feels like, but I don't know.
and they
Yeah, we can
and they
definitely beat the Bengals.
really beat the Panthers, maybe by 2
Yeah.
touchdowns, but they could have
Yeah.
beat them by like 3.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, wow.
yeah, definitely. We can definitely keep it close. We can definitely win. Just as long as we can keep up the pressure on the D line, I don't think Jamar Chase will be as big of a problem as he would be with any other team, just because of how talented our D line is. Like like our D line makes us that our secondary doesn't have to worry as much about you know like big targets because of how pressured the quarterback is, which is great because our secondary isn't our secondary isn't really great right now. It's really young. We have a really young secondary,
Yeah.
Mm.
so that's great. Like I think that was sort of why we drafted Banks in the first place was because he's really good at like making plays and and being aggressive. And so I think that we thought that since our D line would generate so much pressure that it would force quarterbacks to make risky throws, and that Banks could make plays on him. So if he can do that, then not only him, like Drew Phillips and Newman and all of them, they're all capable. So if we can just keep that up and make good plays on defense and force quarterbacks to throw like Stevie to our secondary, then we can definitely win games. Especially now that our offense played like it did this week, plus with Devin Singletary and Malik Neighbors coming back next week. The pieces are sort of aligning. Like our team is sort of coming together. We're figuring it out. We can go on a winning streak. It's definitely possible. I mean, this team has more potential than any other team we've seen in probably the past decade or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have more potential than last year's team.
Yeah, and I'd say our playoff team 2 years ago too.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we just need to beat Cincinnati next week, and
Yeah. I feel like how our team is playing now is sort of like how we should have been playing in the first couple of games, but like now I feel like we're more comfortable and we're like getting back in the flow, and we're finally playing like we should be because we've played a couple games, and we're knocking off the rust, and I feel like we're just getting better every week, which is great. That's kind of what I thought what might happen, or I wanted to happen after we lost. We lost those first, or we start off with a kind of a crappy record, so that's kind of what I wanted to happen, and that's what it looks like is happening. So that's great. Our team is getting better every week, especially our defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, we have a chance to just go like 10-7 this year.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like,
maybe 9-8. But
yeah, we're sort of a little underrated right now. We can definitely get a good winning record. Like playoffs are not out of the question. But I feel like if we want to make the playoffs, we should also think about trading up for a high pick to get a quarterback. Not saying yes to start next season if Daniel Jones plays good, but at least to just have him as a backup and then maybe get mentored by Daniel Jones the next season, or I mean we could start him next season, but we need a quarterback soon, and I feel like definitely this draft. So if we start winning games and doing well, I think we shouldn't just purposely tank. Like obviously not, but we definitely need to do something to get a quarterback in the draft, or maybe at the very least trade for a quarterback.
I think no matter what happens this year, we have to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is the best. This is probably the best draft class that we'll see in a long time.
Yeah, and probably the best position
we
we can put a rookie quarterback in.
Whatever, like, there's like 4 quarterbacks that we could get: Shador, Quinn Ewers,
Milrow and Cam Ward, right?
and then the guy from I forget his name.
Cam Ward.
Yeah, Ward.
Yeah.
Like whatever record we end up having this year, we're gonna get probably a quarterback at some point, and we need one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do.
Him or Milrow.
We'll probably get rid of Drew Lock, and then
Or DeVito.
yeah, or DeVito. But we need like a competent backup if Danny's gonna be there next year.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't be like too mad at Daniel Jones starting next season as long as we had someone who could be in his place if he gets injured, or that he'd be mentoring for next season. Because I'd be fine with that. And plus, like this is a good position to put a rookie quarterback in as far as like weapons and coaching and offense. Because we got Malik. We actually have a good line this year. Singletary. Theo Johnson's not even a bad tight end.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
Good potential.
yeah, he has great potential. And then Wandale and Slayton Hyatt and all them. Um,
I
yeah,
mean,
I feel like a quarterback is all we're really missing right now. Maybe we could draft a running back. I don't really know, unless we get like someone great who falls in our hands. But I feel like definitely quarterback and then someone in the secondary.
Yeah, I think, but also I think that like if Hyatt continues to not get any touches, then try to trade him before the trade deadline for someone like Jerry Judy, or try to trade him for like a draft pick, like a fifth round or something. Try to
yeah,
get like a receiver. I don't know. I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, we gotta get something out of him at least. Like whether that's trading him or actually using him, we gotta get something out of Hyatt. We gotta make use of him.
There was a Patriots fan that replied to one of my stories on Snapchat and said they still not making it anywhere close to the playoffs with their quarterback.
Look, the Patriots should be talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you do today? You guys lost to the Dolphins. That they have a backup quarterback that's hasn't won a game, and you
Yeah,
beat the Patriots.
yeah. Dolphins had the worst offensive football going into it. They were like 2 for 30 on third down. They just
yeah. And I thought the Patriots defense was good. Yeah, Brissett is not it, dude. They just don't really have any reliable receivers.
I don't know.
Like
Joe,
you want to argue maybe besides Hunter Henry, go for it. But I really don't think Hunter Henry is not that consistent. He's not. You can't rely on Hunter Henry.
the
They just
the
have like a bunch of like equal skill level or potential wide receivers. They don't have like a distinct wide receiver one. They all sort of get the same amount of targets and catches for every game.
the
Better,
Steelers Cowboys game is starting in 13 minutes.
we have the better quarterback than the Patriots. We have the better coach. We have probably the
Yeah,
better defense too. Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah,
better
definitely better defense.
Victor
Maybe
Cruz.
maybe not secondary.
Victor Cruz
Maybe
caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl against Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo was covering Victor Cruz.
Oh, I didn't even
really.
know that.
I didn't even know he played. That's crazy.
So
Yeah, so screw Jordan.
yeah. All right. Last question here. Will the Giants beat the Bengals next week on Sunday Night Football at MetLife? I think they will.
Yeah.
It'll be a
We got at least score a touchdown. We haven't scored a touchdown in
it'll
that
be
life yet.
yeah, we haven't scored a single touchdown at MetLife
Yeah,
this year.
Crazy.
just what is it? Is that 7 field goals?
7 field goals, no touchdowns.
Yeah,
But
that cannot happen. So
I think defense play like you did today. Special teams play like you did today. Offense play like you did today, especially when Neighbors gets back. We'll be fine.
yeah,
I think we're gonna win. You guys think we're gonna win?
yes, I think they can
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
I think it's gonna go down to maybe a game-winning field goal. Honestly,
Yeah, gonna be a
like
close game,
it
but I'm
could
less
go,
skeptical.
it
I'm
could
less
go down.
skeptical.
Yeah, it could go down to who has the ball last.
Yeah, I'm
but
less skeptical as I was going into the Seahawks game. Like after the game we just played, we can definitely beat them, especially with our weapons coming back. And all like everyone on the defense this week played like they should be playing. Like they were sort of quiet. They were like hiding in the corner these past couple games. And then now they're like emerging. They're like they're like actually starting to show up and play well and playing well together too, which is great because the Seahawks are not like the Seahawks are a very good offense. They're arguably top 10. I think I consider them the top 10 offense at least.
yeah.
Especially with their weapons at wide receiver and the fact that like DK and maybe with the exception of Lockett, and all the other receivers, the fact that they really didn't play well or get many yards or catches at all is really impressive for our secondary. And then obviously our D line, ever since like the Browns game, has just been playing really good. So if we can just, yeah, I feel like they can just play even better too. Like they have endless potential. So if we can just do that every single week, we're gonna have no problems on defense. And then
Yeah,
it's
we
just on
need,
offense.
we need to intercept Burrow
Yeah,
Yeah.
or something. Like,
yeah. You know he's thrown quite a few interceptions so far this season, so it's not impossible. Threw one against the Ravens. I mean, he did throw for almost 500 yards, but you know the Ravens. The Ravens are the Ravens, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
yeah.
I guess I mean their D line really isn't that good. I think that's probably why he probably had all the time in the world. So if we can not give him all the time in the world and pressure him every play, that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
yeah. Plus, who does he really have besides Jamara that we can't cover or that we'll have trouble with? So
D. Higgins maybe, but
yeah. But like Higgins can match up. Like we can match up with Higgins pretty well with like Drew Phillips or Adoree.
yeah, it's Chase. Chase is gonna give me the problem. I mean, he went for 200 yards today, and
Yeah,
I
dude.
think
Where like right when you think Chase isn't gonna do anything this game, he drops like 100 and some yards and just gets like a crazy touchdown.
I think Andre Yoshivas could be a problem too. He's another receiver. He's a second-year receiver for the Bengals.
oh yeah, he's been pretty good.
Go down to it's just going to go down to who can execute the best, I think.
Yeah, I think the defense needs to step up because the Bengals have a good offense.
Yeah.
But I think the offense, if they play equally as good as they did today, then and they can put up like 25 to 30 points, then I think they can come out with a win.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially with Cincinnati's sort of mid defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so definitely expecting a lot of points and then fewer stats from out of Joe Burrow than this week or last week. I feel like we can definitely hold them under like 300 or 250 passing yards, and we can sack them at least like 5 times.
Yeah.
Those are sort of my expectations and my goals for next week is get maybe at least like 5 sacks, hold them under at least 300 or 250 passing yards, and I'd say maybe score over at least 20, 21 points, 20
Yeah.
points.
We need
At least.
we need at least 3 touchdowns, whether
Yeah,
it's
3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns is 100% fair.
offense or defense. We need at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, dude, and our special teams has been really good too. Like James Gillen is a great punter. He's been great for us ever since he's been on our team. He's a really great punter. Like he has a massive leg. He can boot that thing however long you need him to. Like he's great. He's a great punter. And then Greg Joseph,
He's
he
been good.
missed. Yeah, he missed like a field goal, but besides that, he's actually a really good kicker. I thought he would sort of fall off, but no, he's still good. He still got it, which is great. But I think we probably need to sign a new kicker going into this offseason too. I don't really know if we want to keep Greg Joseph. We could use a
We
younger
won't
kicker.
Joseph after this.
Yeah.
Year. Probably
Yeah.
draft a kicker.
Yeah, draft one or sign a younger kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we should keep Gano either. He's done. He's done. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he's getting injured, and even when he's healthy, he's really not as good as he used to be. So we definitely need a new kicker, but that shouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back every Sunday except next week because the Giants play on Sunday Night Football. So probably next Monday we'll be back. If not, sometime in the middle of next week we'll be back. But thanks for watching this live, and as always, let's go Giants.
Sure.
Er,
Peace.